What if your quiet, peaceful evening routine was secretly increasing your risk of a stroke without you even realizing it? Before getting into the video, comment below, what's one evening habit you've kept for years and still love doing? When we think about stroke prevention, our minds often go straight to the big changes: quitting smoking, cutting back on salt, managing high blood pressure, or overhauling our diet and exercise routines. And while those are absolutely important, there's something else, far more subtle and often overlooked, that could be quietly raising your risk every single day: your evening habits. What you do after 5 p.m., those quiet hours when you're winding down, may seem harmless. But according to growing research, including insights from brain health experts and recent findings shared by Eating Well, the choices you make in the evening could significantly increase your chances of having a stroke. From eating dinner too late and lounging on the couch for hours, to sipping alcohol as a nightcap or pushing bedtime well past midnight, these seemingly minor habits can, over time, damage your cardiovascular system without any obvious warning signs. Why? Because stroke doesn't happen overnight, but the conditions that lead to it often build up silently, in the background, repeatedly disturbing your body's natural rhythms. Blood pressure patterns and circulation during the evening can slowly chip away at your vascular health, leading to inflammation, insulin resistance, poor blood flow, and eventually a much higher risk of stroke, especially as you age. The most alarming part? You might feel totally fine while this is happening. That's what makes these habits so dangerous. They don't feel dangerous, but the silver lining is this: stroke risk from these habits is highly preventable. By making just a few simple, science-backed adjustments to your evening routine, you can give your heart and brain a much-needed break and dramatically improve your long-term health without turning your life upside down. In this article, we'll break down the latest research on these everyday habits, explain why they matter so much, and show you exactly what to avoid and what to do instead after 5 p.m. to reduce your risk of stroke. Starting tonight. 1. Eating dinner too late after 9 p.m. Eating dinner late at night, especially after 9 p.m., may seem harmless, but research consistently shows that it can have profound negative effects on your cardiovascular and metabolic health. The timing of your meals plays a crucial role in regulating your body's internal processes, and late-night eating has been linked to several risk factors for stroke, including high blood pressure, disrupted glucose metabolism, poor sleep, and inflammation. Our bodies operate on a circadian rhythm, a 24-hour internal clock that regulates everything from digestion and hormone release to sleep cycles and blood pressure. This rhythm is naturally aligned with light and dark cycles and is designed to wind down in the evening to prepare for rest and repair. Eating during this natural shutdown phase forces your body to stay active internally, particularly the digestive system, at a time when it should be recovering. This mismatch can contribute to elevated nocturnal blood pressure, poor fat and sugar metabolism, and altered hormone regulation, all of which are key contributors to stroke risk. A study published in the journal Nutrients 2020 found that late-night eating leads to a misalignment between meal timing and the body's natural insulin sensitivity, which is highest during the day and significantly reduced at night. As a result, people who eat later are more likely to experience elevated blood glucose levels, reduced fat oxidation, and increased body fat storage, all metabolic disturbances that raise the risk of stroke, particularly when combined with other lifestyle factors. Similarly, a study in Cell Metabolism 2022 demonstrated that individuals who ate dinner at 10 p.m. had significantly higher blood sugar levels, decreased leptin, the fullness hormone, and 33% lower fat burning rates compared to those who ate earlier in the evening. These hormonal disruptions can lead to insulin resistance, obesity, and chronic inflammation, creating a dangerous environment for vascular damage and clot formation, both key triggers for ischemic stroke. Late-night meals also disrupt sleep architecture, particularly the deep and REM stages of sleep, which are vital for neurological repair and detoxification. When digestion is active late into the night, it interferes with melatonin production and competes with the brain for energy, impairing sleep quality. According to a report from the American Heart Association, AHA, poor sleep, especially due to circadian misalignment, is an independent risk factor for stroke and cardiovascular disease. In addition, Foods typically consumed late at night, such as fast food, sugary snacks, or salty takeout, are often high in sodium and saturated fats, which can spike blood pressure and cause fluid retention, further stressing the heart and blood vessels. Elevated nighttime blood pressure, in particular, has been shown to increase the risk of early morning strokes, which tend to be more severe and harder to treat. To reduce your stroke risk, aim to finish your last substantial meal by 8 to 9 p.m. If you find yourself hungry later, opt for a light, healthy snack that's easy to digest and won't spike your blood sugar, like a small banana, unsweetened yogurt, or a few almonds. Also, avoid caffeine, alcohol, and high-sodium foods in the evening, as these can worsen blood pressure and disrupt sleep. Setting a kitchen curfew is a helpful strategy. Physically turning off the kitchen lights or closing the kitchen door after dinner can signal to your brain and body that eating time is over for the day. Individuals with high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, obesity, or a family history of stroke are particularly vulnerable to the risks of late-night eating. However, even healthy individuals stand to benefit significantly from aligning their meal times with their body's natural rhythm. While skipping late dinners might feel like a small change, it could be one of the most powerful things you can do to protect your brain, heart, and overall health in the long run. 2. Lounging on the couch. Lounging on the couch after dinner might feel like the perfect way to relax, but when it becomes a nightly habit, it can quietly increase your risk of stroke. While it seems harmless, extended periods of sitting after meals are linked to poor blood circulation, increased blood pressure, and metabolic issues that affect your heart and brain health. When you sit or lie down for hours after eating, especially without any physical movement, your body slows down. Blood flow becomes less efficient, particularly in the lower body, and this can lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, and chronic inflammation, all of which are major contributors to stroke risk. A study published in Stroke found that adults under 60 who sat for more than 8 hours a day and engaged in minimal physical activity were 4.2 times more likely to suffer a stroke than those who moved more throughout the day. The combination of inactivity and digestion puts extra stress on the cardiovascular system, especially in the evening when the body is preparing to rest. After dinner, even a small amount of movement, like a 15 to 20-minute walk, light housework, or gentle stretching, can help. These simple activities support digestion, regulate post-meal blood sugar, and reduce pressure on your arteries. In contrast, heading straight to the couch may cause sudden spikes in blood pressure and glucose, straining your heart and blood vessels. To lower your risk, try building movement into your evening routine. It doesn't have to be intense. Even standing during TV commercials, pacing while on a call, or tidying up your space can make a difference. Your brain and heart will benefit from the improved circulation and metabolic function, and you'll still get to enjoy a relaxing night without the hidden health risks. 3. Sipping a nightcap. Sipping a nightcap before bed, whether it's a glass of wine, whiskey, or a cocktail, may feel like a comforting way to unwind. However, research increasingly shows that even light to moderate alcohol intake at night can raise your risk of stroke, especially when consumed regularly. While alcohol initially acts as a sedative, helping you fall asleep faster, its effects on your cardiovascular and nervous systems are more harmful than soothing. After a few hours, alcohol disrupts sleep architecture, particularly REM, rapid eye movement sleep, which is crucial for brain restoration. Poor sleep quality has been strongly linked to higher stroke risk due to its role in elevating blood pressure, heart rate, and inflammatory markers. According to a 2022 study published in the American Journal of Preventive Cardiology, people who consumed alcohol regularly, even as little as 5 drinks per month, had a higher risk of atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat that increases the likelihood of stroke by 5-fold. Atrial fibrillation can be triggered or worsened by alcohol, especially when consumed close to bedtime, as the heart becomes more vulnerable during sleep cycles. Additionally, alcohol acts as a vasodilator. It temporarily relaxes and widens blood vessels, which might sound beneficial, but this initial drop in blood pressure is often followed by a rebound spike during the night, increasing the strain on your arteries and making them more prone to rupture or blockage, both of which can lead to a stroke. Chronic evening drinking is also linked to increased triglyceride levels, higher blood pressure the morning after drinking, reduced cerebral blood flow, increased oxidative stress, and inflammation. To protect your brain and cardiovascular health, it's best to avoid alcohol within 3 to 4 hours of bedtime, especially if you have existing risk factors like high blood pressure, diabetes, or a history of stroke. If you're looking for alternatives to unwind, consider calming herbal teas like chamomile or lemon balm, both of which promote relaxation without the side effects of alcohol. Even occasional nightcaps can quietly contribute to cumulative vascular stress. So while one glass might not seem dangerous, the habit over time can raise your baseline risk, often without any symptoms until it's too late. 4. Staying up too late. Staying up too late might seem like a harmless habit, something we all do from time to catch up on work, enjoy some quiet time, or binge watch a favorite show. But science tells a different story. Consistently going to bed too late, especially after midnight, can quietly and gradually increase your risk of stroke. That's because your body follows a finely tuned 24-hour internal clock called the circadian rhythm. This clock regulates a wide range of vital processes, including blood pressure regulation, hormone release, brain detoxification, and sleep-wake cycles. When you regularly stay up past your body's natural bedtime, you disrupt this rhythm, throwing off the balance of systems that keep your heart and brain functioning properly. Multiple studies have found that people who go to bed after midnight are more likely to experience cardiovascular issues, including hypertension and stroke, compared to those who maintain a more regular sleep schedule, ideally going to bed between 10 and 11 p.m. Going to bed late often cuts short these critical phases of sleep, reducing your body's ability to lower blood pressure and repair inflammation and cellular damage overnight. Late nights also interfere with your metabolic function. Studies have shown that night owls tend to have higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which can raise blood pressure and increase inflammation, both of which are direct contributors to stroke and heart disease. In fact, even just a few nights of late sleep can lead to increased insulin resistance, sluggish blood flow, and irregular heart rhythms, especially in older adults. Over time, this disruption puts ongoing stress on your heart, arteries, and brain, quietly increasing your risk of a serious event like a stroke. And what's especially dangerous is that this risk accumulates slowly and silently, often without any noticeable warning signs until it's too late. The good news? It's entirely within your control to change this. Prioritizing sleep hygiene can make a massive difference. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time each day, even on weekends. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night to give your body enough time for full physical and neurological recovery. Avoid screens and bright lights at least an hour before bed, as blue light interferes with melatonin production, the hormone that helps you fall and stay asleep. Replace late-night scrolling with calming habits like reading, light stretching, journaling, or listening to soft music. Even small shifts in your bedtime routine can create powerful benefits for your long-term brain and heart health. Think of it not as a restriction, but as a form of self-respect and protection, an investment in your future well-being. Your evening routine might feel peaceful and normal, so start with one change. Eat a little earlier, move a little more, swap the drink for tea, and honor your body's need for rest. You're not just preventing a stroke, you're protecting the very system that keeps you alive and thriving. Take care of your brain. It's the only one you've got.